Attar is my guide, Attar is my guide. By the grace of Allah, Attar is my guide. My murshid has changed millions of lives. The prophetic sunnah, he is revived. The leader of the Sunnis, he is our pride. By the grace of Allah, Attar is my guide.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen, amma ba'd, fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah, wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyallah, wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Noorallah. Dear Islamic brothers, dear viewers and listeners of Madani channel, welcome back to this beautiful silsila where we will continue inshallah ta'ala from our last silsila where we discussed about basic information regarding the subject of Aqiqah. We will give more information inshallah ta'ala and other important points that we should note down. And talking about noting down, in the beginning of the silsila, make as many good intentions as you can to gain maximum rewards. For example, according to your position, your situation, make the intention that I will listen to the silsila from beginning to end for the pleasure of Almighty Allah Azza wa Jal. I will note down the important points, I will try to practice upon them, I will try to encourage them amongst my family members, my spouse, my children, my friends, and in my society. In this manner, whatever other good intentions you can make them now inshallah ta'ala to gain maximum rewards and thawab. There are great benefits and bounties in reciting durood and salawat upon Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Our Shaykh al-Tariqat Amir Ahl Sunnat, the founder of Dawat Islami, Hazrat Allama Maulana Abu Bilal Muhammad Ilyas Attar Qadri Razwi Ziyai Dam Barakatuhum al-Aliyah, has mentioned a beautiful hadith with the reference of Majma'uz Zawaid, that Sayyiduna Abu Darda radiyallahu ta'ala anhu had said that the merciful Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam said, the one who recites salat and durood upon me 10 times in the morning and 10 times in the evening, that person will get my intercession on the day of judgment. Subhanallah. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Salatu wa salaman alayka ya Sayyidi ya Rasulallah. As mentioned earlier, continuing from our last episode regarding the many informative and important points of Aqiqah. Now, when it comes to naming children, what names should we give children? It is understood that we should not give bad names or names which have bad connotations, bad meanings to our children. This is obvious. Rather, we should name our child on the name of any Prophet of Allah alayhi or any Sahaba alayhi ridwan, or any Waliullah rahimahullah. Inshallah ta'ala, by doing this with good intentions, we have hope that the child will reap some barakat and blessings from this. It is mentioned from our beloved mother, Ummul Mu'mineen, Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqah radiyallahu ta'ala anha, that the noble Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam said, name the child after the good people and seek the fulfillment of your needs from the good-faced people. Subhanallah. Sadr Sharia Badr Tariqah Allama Maulana Mufti Muhammad Amjad Ali A'adami Rahmatullah Ta'ala Ali has stated that Abdullah is a good name. Likewise, Abdur Rahman is also a good name. But these days it is often seen that people call such people as Rahman instead of Abdur Rahman, whereas it is prohibited, it is haram to do so, to address anyone other than Allah Azza wa Jal as Rahman. It is also a common observation that many names are shortened to meaningless words, showing disregard. Sacred names must not be shortened. If it is suspected that sacred names would be shortened to improper words or improper names, then one should not give a sacred name to the child. Instead, he should give any other permissible name to the child. Now, we should describe the excellence in naming a child Muhammad. Subhanallah. Here are a few sayings of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam in this regard. Our beloved Master Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam has said, if anybody is blessed with the birth of a boy and names his son Muhammad out of love for me, for reaping blessings from my name, then both he and his son will enter into Jannah, will enter into paradise. Allahu Akbar. Furthermore, another beautiful hadith on the Day of Judgment. Two persons will be presented before Allah Azza wa Jal. It will be ordered, take them to Jannah, take them to paradise. They will humbly ask, O Allah Azza wa Jal, which deed has made us deserving of paradise? We have not done any such deed which will take us towards paradise. Almighty Allah Azza wa Jal will say, enter paradise. I have vowed that anyone whose name is Ahmad or Muhammad will not enter hell. Subhanallah. Furthermore, does it cause any harm? The Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam said, does it cause any harm to any one of you if you have one or two or three Muhammads in your home? Subhanallah. When you name a boy Muhammad, treat him with respect and make space for him in a gathering, and do not associate evil with him. Subhanallah. Dear Islamic brothers, dear viewers and listeners of Madani channel, if a person names his child, his son Muhammad, without a good intention, he will not reap any reward, because a good intention is a precondition for reaping the thawab and the reward. The first hadith, as mentioned above, contains the glad tidings of entry into Jannah, into paradise, for the child as well as for that fortunate father who has named the child, named the son Muhammad, with the intention of showing love for the name of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, and for reaping blessings from this beautiful name. On page 691 of the 24th volume of Fatawa Razawiyah, Ala Hazrat Imam Ahmad Raza Khan rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi has stated, it is better to name the child Muhammad or Ahmad without adding any other word, because the excellence described in the beautiful hadith or ahadith applies to the names Muhammad and Ahmad alone. These days, Allah Azza wa Jal forbid, the epidemic of shortening names to mockingly meaningless words is widespread, as is known. And this is actually a sin. To shorten the name Muhammad is extremely distressing. Therefore, name the child Muhammad or Ahmad on the day of Aqiqah, which is the 7th day, and for calling him a calling name, then you could, for example, use names like Bilal Raza, Hilal Raza, Jamal Raza, Kamal Raza, Zaid Raza, etc. Similarly, it is appropriate to name the girls after the names of Sahabiyat and Waliyat like Sakina, Fatima, Zainab, Maymuna, Maryam, Aisha, etc. Now, we should describe the number of animals, how many should be slaughtered in the Aqiqah of a boy and a girl. 2 animals for a boy and 1 for a girl should be slaughtered. Ala Hazrat Imam Ahmad Raza Khan rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi has said, it is necessary to slaughter at least 1 animal for each boy and 1 for each girl. To slaughter 2 animals for a boy is preferable. However, if the father or the guardian of the boy cannot afford to slaughter 2 animals, then there is no harm in slaughtering just 1 animal. Which qualities are necessary for this animal of Aqiqah? Now, with regards to a question regarding the purchase of an animal from a butcher for Aqiqah, Al-Hazrat Imam Ahmad Raza Khan rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi has mentioned, in these matters, the rulings of Aqiqah are like those rulings of Qurbani. At the end of Eid al-Adha, the parts of the animal's body should be intact. It is not permissible to slaughter the goat, both male and female, that is less than 1 year of age. However, if a 6-month-old lamb or a ram is healthy enough to appear to be 1 year of age when seen from a distance, then its slaughter for Aqiqah is allowed. It is permitted. Regarding the animal for Aqiqah, Allama Shami Quddisa Sirruh Sami has stated, it is mentioned in Bada'i that it is better to slaughter a piebald or castrated ram that has horns. What should be done if there is a doubt about the age of the animal for Aqiqah or for Qurbani? Do not slaughter the animal for Aqiqah or Qurbani if there is doubt that it is younger than the required age. Presented here are just 2 points. Please listen carefully, inshallah ta'ala. In this context, extracted from page 583 and 584 of the 20th volume of Fatawa Razawiyya. It is mentioned that a goat or a sheep that is less than 1 year of age cannot be slaughtered for Aqiqah or Qurbani. If there is a doubt in its age, then it will be considered to be less than 1 year of age, if there is a doubt. Here is an Arabic saying, لأن عدم العلم بتحقق الشرط كعلم العدم. Unawareness of the fulfillment of a condition amounts to being unaware of the existence of the thing which is mentioned. Also, if there is doubt about the animal being 1 year old, do not slaughter it for Aqiqah. Even if the butcher or the person who is selling the animal says that the animal is 1 year of age, he will not be trusted in this matter, as he may be saying this for the sake of just to earn profits. As the animal shown by the butcher for sale has not yet cut the teeth that a 1 year animal should have. This negates his claim that the animal is lawfully suitable for being slaughtered. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. The conclusion is that if there is suspicion about the age of the goat or the sheep which is less than 1 year, if there is suspicion in this age, or of a cow which is less than 2 years, then such an animal cannot be slaughtered for Aqiqah nor for Qurbani. How should we distribute the meat for Aqiqah? Al-Hazrat Imam Ahmad Raza Khan rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi has said, like the meat of Qurbani, the meat of Aqiqah should also be divided into 3 shares. 1 share for the organizer of the Aqiqah, 1 for the relatives, and 1 for the masakeen. However, this is preferred and not essential, not compulsory. If the person who is performing the Aqiqah, if the person wants, he can cook the entire meat at his home, or alternatively he can distribute all of it to others. Is it better to serve cooked meat in Aqiqah or just to distribute it raw? It is preferable to serve cooked meat rather than distributing it in a raw form. Are there any shares for the parents in the meat of Aqiqah? There is no particular share for anyone in the meat of Aqiqah. The preferable way of distributing the meat has been mentioned already. It is generally believed that parents, this is a belief, generally that parents cannot eat the meat of Aqiqah, and this is absolutely wrong. Any Muslim can eat the meat of the Aqiqah, whether it's the parents or the grandparents, etc. It is said that the head and thigh of the animal slaughtered for Aqiqah must be given to the barber or the midwife respectively. What is the ruling if the midwife is a non-Muslim? It is mentioned in Fatawa Rizwiyah, page 588, 20th volume, that Al-Hazrat Imam Ahmad Raza Khan rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi has stated, it is neither required nor prohibited to give the animal's head to the barber. It is simply just a custom. But to give the thigh of the aqiqah to the midwife is actually proven from hadith. But remember, it is absolutely prohibited to have delivery carried out by non-Muslim midwives, as the rulings of parda, of veil and hijab for Muslim women from non-Muslim women are the same as hijab and parda and veiling from a man. In Raddul Muhtar, it is mentioned for a Muslim woman to get undressed in front of non-Muslim woman or the one who is a polytheist. This is not halal. Furthermore, the ruling regarding the skin of the aqiqah animal, what is the ruling regarding this? The rulings for the meat and the skin of the aqiqah animal are the same as the rulings of the animal of qurbani. Having preserved the skin or exchanged it for something preservable and beneficial, one can use it personally. The skin and the meat of the aqiqah, one can use it personally or can give it to some miskeen, or that person may donate it to any good cause like the masjid or madrasa, etc. Can the skin of the animal of aqiqah be given to the butcher for payment of his job? And the answer is no. Similarly, the animal's head also cannot be given to the barber, nor the thigh cannot be given to the midwife in payment for their jobs. Who should slaughter the animal of aqiqah? Al-Hazrat, the Imam of the Ahl Sunnah, Imam Ahmad Raza Khan rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi has stated, if the father is present and is able to slaughter, then it is better for him to do so, as this is a way of expressing shukr and gratitude for a favor, a bounty of receiving a child from Allah Azza wa Jal. The one who has been granted a favor should express gratitude with one's own hands. However, if the father is, for example, not present or cannot slaughter the animal, he is unable to do so, he should give permission to anybody else, any other Muslim. Who should recite the dua for aqiqah? Yes, there is a particular dua of aqiqah, and who should recite this dua? The slaughterer of the animal or the father? I urge our dear Islamic brothers and viewers of Madani channel, try to obtain the book, even if it is by downloading it or reading online on dawudislami.net, questions and answers regarding aqiqah. Many Madani pearls are located and found therein. Also, this dua of aqiqah is found in this booklet as well. Very informative and very easy to understand. Now, the slaughterer should recite the dua. If the father is going to slaughter the animal for the aqiqah of his son, he should recite the dua of aqiqah. And remember, when the dua is finished, as soon as the dua is finished, then slaughter the animal immediately. Instead of saying so and so in the dua, then mention the name of your child. These few details are mentioned in the book Question and Answers regarding aqiqah. Similarly, dear Islamic brothers, dear viewers and listeners of Madani channel, a question may come in the mind that will aqiqah be invalid if that dua is not recited? Aqiqah will still be valid even if the dua is not recited at the time of slaughtering the animal. Is it true that the bones of the aqiqah animal should not be broken? It is better not to break the bones of the animal of aqiqah, and the meat should be separated leaving the bones intact. We should try if possible to do. This bodes well for the safety of the child. However, there is no harm even if the bones are broken. Is there any special method of cooking the meat of Aqiqah? Sadr Sharia Badr Tariqah, Hazrat Allama Maulana Mufti Muhammad Amjad Ali A'adhami Rahmatullah Ta'ala alayhi has said, meat can be cooked in any way. If it is cooked with a sweet taste, then it is an omen for the good manners of the child. Subhanallah. Now here is a method. Our Shaykh al-Tariqat Amir Ahlus Sunnah Dawam Barakatuhum al-Aliyah has mentioned this method in that booklet, questions and answers regarding Aqiqah. Method of cooking, sweet meat, or meat which is sweet. Pour oil and ghee as needed and put 1 kilogram of meat, half a kilogram of sweetened curd, 7 pieces of cardamom and 40 grams of almond into a pot. Thereafter, cook all these ingredients. After cooking, add sugar as required, as needed. For garnishing, add finely chopped carrots and raisins inside. Put 1 kilogram of meat and half a kilogram of beetroot into a pot and cook them in the usual way. How is it to give gifts on the occasion of Aqiqah? These days, relatives are invited to the Aqiqah ceremony and are served with a feast, which is a good act actually. It's very nice to do this. The guests, they also bring some gifts for the child, which is good as well. However, something very important to note. There are some few details in this regard. If the guest does not bring any gifts, then the host or the family members sometimes speak ill of that guest, and they will end up committing sins by doing ghibat, backbiting, etc. If the guest is sure or has a strong likelihood that he will be facing such a situation in case of attending the ceremony, then he should not attend unless he is compelled to do so. He can attend the ceremony only when necessary and can also bring gifts. However, if the gift receiving host had the intention of speaking ill of the guest in case of not being given gifts, he would be a sinner and deserving of hellfire, and the gift would be a form of bribery for him. Likewise, even if the host does not have any such particular intention, but he has the bad habit of speaking ill of the guest in such a situation, so he should ponder before he receives that gift. If he has the strong likelihood that the guest has brought the gift to remain safe from being taken to task by him, then the same foregoing rule will apply in this case as regards to receiving that gift. Dear Islamic brothers, dear viewers and listeners of Madani channel, indeed, the birth of a child is a very joyous occasion. And here as well, the birth of a child, we should show shukr to Almighty Allah Azza wa Jal for receiving this bounty. And one of the best ways, or in the initial period, in the beginning, to show shukr to Allah Azza wa Jal is to make dua, yes, as well, but to perform the Aqiqah if it is within our financial means. Obtain the book Questions and Answers regarding Aqiqah, which is a booklet of Amir Ahlus Sunnah Shaykh al-Tariqat Dawam Barakatuhum al-Aliyah, for more beautiful Madani pearls in this regard. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant us the ability of correctly understanding the beautiful deen of Islam and practicing upon it. Ameen. Bijahin Nabi al-Ameen. Sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Sallu ala al-Habib. Sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Attar is my guide, Attar is my guide. By the grace of Allah, Attar is my guide. My Murshid has changed millions of lives. The prophetic Sunnah, he is revived. The leader of the Sunnis, he is our pride. By the grace of Allah, Attar is my guide.